Good evening. Today is Tuesday, January 16th, 2024. It is 7 p.m. I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Board of Selectmen to order. Steve?
Stephen Sedlak.
Troy Lemire.
Bob Geiger.
Todd Archelashi.
Glenn Albanesius.
William Hester.
William Pozo.
Selectwoman Perez is excused, and Selectman Marino is excused. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Review of the agenda. We'd like to remove executive session, both items A and B from the agenda. Item A, because the town attorney is unable to attend tonight and we don't have a full board. And item B, because it will be discussed in open meeting. Can I have a motion, second to?
I'll second, Todd.
Thank you. Discussion? All in favor? Unanimous? Anyone have anything else? Moving on to item number 4, the approval of minutes of a regular meeting on January 2nd, 2024.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from January 2nd, 2024.
Thank you. Thank you, Troy. Any discussion or corrections, additions? Seeing none, all in favor? Unanimous? Moving on to item 5, citizens' comments. The Board of Selectmen welcomes public comments. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes and may speak once. Who would like to speak? Seeing no speakers, moving on to item 6, the town manager's report.
All right, I'll just give you kind of a brief summary on several of the departments on what's been going on. Want to mention on the Economic Development Commission, we've got a new thrifty, called a new upscale thrifty boutique retail store called Peacocks and Lilacs, opening on end of March, 1st of April, on the west end of Main Street near the Home and Cake Store. The new owners are Winstead mother and her daughter, Pam Florio and Danielle Bilodeau. Number 2, the Winchester EDC and the local State Community College, Northwestern, are sponsoring an upcoming February the 1st manufacturer's breakfast at the American Tort Law Museum. We've had these breakfasts before. They've been very successful. It's mainly for networking and speakers to help businesses out. The Little Red Barn, by the way, has opened their new food service space, if you all haven't been there. It's adjacent to the new food space is the new axe throwing revenue. So you can have a beer and throw axes. I know it sounds a little odd, it does to me, but it seems to be kind of a new thing going on, and it's really well done. It was put together, all the construction was done by a local guy here in Winstead who's awesome. It's a beautiful operation. They've both been very busy. So if you get a chance, it's worth seeing. Let me talk also here about a few things that are going on in the Land Use Department. We continue to work on the Sue Grossman Trail. We've finished some of the property agreements to continue the trail all the way up to town. The Mad River Recreation Area has got a new trailhead parking area planned off of Rugbrook Road. We just had a meeting this afternoon with some of the state officials. We'll explain a lot more of that. A lot of people say, well, what is that? Basically, it's hiking trails, places to enjoy a lot of the property that we have that is pretty nice. And of course, you won't see much of that until springtime, but in the meantime, we're pursuing staking off the property lines and talking to all the abutting neighbors that are near or around it. We continue to work on Tetro Pond. There's a small dam at the bottom. It's under state requirement that we have to reconstruct that dam. It shouldn't be an expensive one, but we're working on the process to continue that. We believe that Tetro's Pond would be a pretty nice park area. As you know, we deconstructed a couple of homes that abutted that 2 or 3 years ago. So the area's now been expanded, and it's got a lot of potential. But it'll be improving over the next few years. It won't be an initial thing in 1 year, but a lot of work's being done already. We are losing our current building official, William Petroface, is going back to Torrington. He's going to continue to work with us in the process of us finding a new building official. He's done a great job while he's been here. We hate losing him, but he'll partner with us from Torrington, and Torrington has agreed to let us use him as much as we would like to, basically. And we continue to work with the DPW and the drainage issues we have in this town. As you know, our town's really built at the base of a mountain, which is, water has been coming down that mountain around the Gilbert area for about 4 million years. We continue to make minor improvements, and we'll continue to do that. But as you know, drainage around here has been a continual issue, based, with the flooding and the snow melt. But improvements have continued, and I missed the last snow plow, but I was on the phone with Jimmy the whole time, kind of figure out Jimmy from our Public Works. Evidently, the snow plowing went pretty well. Today was kind of uneventful. We thought it was going to be much worse, but so far it's been pretty good. One other issue has been our police department. I met with the chief again today. We're pursuing to conclude a police contract with the union, with the police union, which has been a major drawback for us. We've lost police officers over the years. We've had trouble recruiting. We really do have one of the lower paid police departments in the area. We're in the process of trying to address that with a new union contract. And we've got some older officers that are retiring. So it all isn't just about money. Some of it has to do with age and retirement. What we're going to start probably using is what we call a reserve. We can have a reserve program we initiated really about 5 years ago, so retired officers can work part-time on a call-in basis. They're no longer in the union. They would work up to 18 hours a week and can be called in. They get paid only, no benefits. They're not members of the union, no paid benefits other than just pay. And we believe that'll be helpful right now in our shortage of police officers. We're really down a couple right now. We just sent one, as you may all have heard about last week, to the police academy, but we won't see him on the street for at least 10 months. But so we're trying to recruit at least 2 to 3 more right now to back up the retirements that we're about to have. So we're tight on our police department right now, which I think our chief feels like he's got it covered. But a lot of the guys are working more overtime than they want. Some of them like it, some of them don't. But safety is always the #1 issue, and our chief's aware of that. And I believe we got a plan to address that. And critical to that is the new union contract, which will be coming up. We hope to finalize that in another month. And that's it for me. Any questions?
Questions for Bob from the board?
Pardon? No?
Seeing no questions, moving on to item number 7, Finance Director's Report. I think I saw Anne Marie here. Yep,
She's here.
Good evening. These are your general fund results through December 31st of 2023. We are 50% of the way through the year. Our current property tax revenue through December, $16,568,069, 62% of the budgeted revenue, in comparison to $17,137,904 for the same period last year, which was 67.19% of the budget. In the fiscal '24 budget, we did break out our motor vehicle supplemental revenue, which was previously included in the current property tax number. So for this year, in December, we had $19,079 of motor vehicle sup revenue, which is 9.54% of the budget. Excuse me. Past due taxes of $187,299, which is 55.82% of the current budget, in comparison to $270,437, which was 90% of last year's budget, Our total revenues year-to-date, $21,178,297, which is 54% of the budget, compared to $20,899,252, which was 57.97%. Total expenditures year-to-date with our encumbrances are $21,082,351, which is 53.8% of the budget, compared to $16,401,110 in the prior year, which was 45.49% of the budget. As I mentioned in the previous month, some of that is due to a timing difference in that we have booked our full year worth of transfers out in fiscal ¡24 that we did not book for the same time period last year. We had a very small amount of municipal aid received in December. Disabled property tax was only $842. Our veterans was $37.47. Our pilot Pequot installment of $12,491, and our distressed municipality of $3,303. Our cash flow at the end of November was $18,096,972. Of that, $16,457,171 was invested. $2.9 million in the Northwest Community Bank sweep, $2.364870 in STIF, and $11,095,172 in the Northwest Community Bank municipal, money market. Our December capital expenditures, we had $256,000 on Case Avenue, $60,174 in annual road maintenance, $19,020 on Tedros Pond, $252,108 on Marshall Street, $566,819 on the Case Avenue Bridge. The release of retention for the finalization of Whiting Street renovation of $78,651, and $4,120 in fire station repairs and upgrades. That's it. Questions? Got all that?
Questions from the board?
You do have the detailed reports that I did send over. If anybody does have any questions, I can certainly answer those either today or some other day if you have questions.
You've got a pretty good summary of everything that I handed out earlier.
Seeing no questions, thank you. Moving on to item 8, correspondence. Anyone from the board have anything? Item 9, boards and commissions.
Thank you, Todd. Tonight, we're starting with resignation. We have a letter from Timothy McGrain resigning from the Recreation Board, and as usual, we acknowledge the resignation. We don't vote on it, and we thank, in this case, Tim for his service on the Rec Board. Moving on to nominations, step number 2. We have 2 candidates to place a nomination. And one would be Carrie Stetson, a candidate for the Economic Development Commission. Alternate position, the term would expire in April of '27. And we also want to put in nomination Hamish Lutris as a member of the Historic Commission. And term would be expire in 12 of '25. So that's step number 2 for both of these candidates. And then moving on to the appointments this evening, we have a number of them. We'll start, if you have your package in front of you, with, I'd like to move for appointment to the Ad hoc Water Level Committee, David Pines. His term would expire in March of 2024, so we'll give him a couple of months. So that's the motion.
Is there a second? Second. Thank you, Joy. Discussion? No discussion, all in favor?
Next.
Bill, were you in favor? Yeah. Unanimous?
Next, I would move for appointment Christina LaGrave as a member of the Ethics Commission. Her term would expire in January of, well, that can't be correct. 23, we've gone past that.
Must be 26.
I'll have to check on that.
I'll check on that one, but that, the year is wrong, and I missed catching that one.
No.
But I think you could go ahead and appoint her, we'll correct the date, we know it's.
I'll second that.
Discussion? All in favor? Unanimous?
Next, I'd like to move to appoint Rista Malanka as a member of Planning and Zoning, an alternate position, term to expire October of '24.
Second that.
Discussion? All in favor? Unanimous?
Next, I'd like to move for appointment to the IWWC, Matthew Clausen. He would be an alternate member, and that term would expire in April of '24.
Second.
And that's correct, that's a 3-month appointment? Still in an open seat?
I think that is,
Yeah,
Okay.
if it's an alternate.
yeah, as an alternate.
All in favor? Unanimous?
Next, candidate David Lapointe. Would someone make a motion to appoint him as a member of the Historic Commission?
I'd like to make a motion for David Lapointe to be a member of the Historic Commission, term ending 12 of 25.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Bill. Discussion? Any discussion? All in favor? 2, opposed? 2, abstaining? 2, 2, 1. Next.
Move to appoint Thomas Horskold as a member of the Retirement Board. He is a town employee, and there's always a town employee on that board. Term would expire in February of '25.
Second.
Bob, that's not applicable as party. Is there a reason why that's not applicable? Do we
A
don't
party's
know
not
his party,
applicable.
or?
It doesn't matter, and that an employee has to be on that board.
Okay, so that's why. So that would be an employee. All in favor? Opposed? Unanimous?
And finally, move to appoint Paul Mitchell, member of ZBA. This is actually not a new appointment, it's a move from alternate member to permanent member. Term to expire December of '28.
Is there a second? I'll second. Discussion?
We didn't get any, I know he's a member already, but I'd like to know some information about him before you vote on somebody.
Would you like to table?
I think we should, just to make sure that's zoning board of appeals is an important board to make sure that he's the right fit for that.
There's,
He's already an alternate, is all I can tell you, so he's already been approved,
Yeah, but I mean, we should get,
Vetted.
we should get some,
but I'm just telling you,
Information
the
on it.
rules are he's been vetted, which he couldn't have been appointed as an alternate if he hadn't been vetted. But I'm just throwing that out.
okay.
all right, I'll let that go, then we'll,
Okay, so the table's off. All in favor? Unanimous?
And that would do it for now. As usual, we're looking for members for most of our boards and commissions, so hopefully our volunteers will step forward and will fill these positions in the months ahead.
Let me just mention this.
Go ahead.
We just had an application, just throwing this out here. Stephen Vale would like to be co-town historian. I don't know what the structure was when we were developing this new historical commission, is all I can say is, I know Stephen, and so I'm really not supposed to promote or not promote, but we all know he's been around here for a long
Great
time.
history of the
And
town. That is
probably
correct.
knows more about the history of this town than most of us, if not all, but was not Sheila, I don't know what I don't know what we all had decided, what you all had decided for a town historian
We had
position.
not at the time of Millie's passing. It's
Yeah,
just been-
Millie passed and no one has replaced her
That
yet.
is correct.
But he just, I'm throwing this out, you don't have to consider it now, I just want you to know he wants to be
we
considered.
wanna put it on our list for, the second step.
Yes,
Well, that's not really a
It's
board
not
or
really a
commission,
board or
though.
commission, it's I gotta tell you, I don't know what our town historian is, it's not a commission, it's not a board,
It's a position.
it's like a position, it's kinda
It's
like
attached to the Historical Society, I believe. I think it is.
Yeah,
So if we make a motion, then to appoint him? Because I'll make the motion.
well, we can do that, and if it's not appropriate or necessary, then we'll just extra,
I think it might be premature to do that.
okay.
I don't have in front of me the background on the Historic Commission when it was developed, but I think, well, my understanding was of the 7 members, that one of the members of the Historic Commission would become the town
Historian.
historian.
Because he seemed to be aware of that, because he asked to be co-historian.
Does he have any idea who Co is?
He wants somebody else to do it with him.
And I gotta tell you, I'm not familiar with that group, since we don't function with them as an active member. So why don't I just wanted to
We
express.
table it till the next
We
meeting.
can table, I just wanted you all to make sure you're aware that he was interested, and he
Yeah.
would
Do
look
we
like. to be-
even, like most boards and commissions, vote their own leader, so to say, so to
Yeah,
speak?
well, I'm the liaison for that board, and they really haven't even had an official meeting, because the one we just recently had, there wasn't enough members there. But we still got together and talked, so.
That's great.
Well, there you go.
You get the big
You just raised your hand, Billy.
Thank you for volunteering.
Thank you for your service.
Well,
Okay.
That would be with the report, Todd.
Thank you, sir. Unfinished business, item 10, remaining board liaison appointments. We have 3 boards without liaisons. The Citation Hearing Board, the Cultural Commission, which is new, and the Laurel Commission.
Didn't Paul do the citation hearing board last month? Last meeting? Pretty sure he did.
It should be in the notes.
Yeah, it's okay.
Only because he sits next to me, I heard it.
yes, you did. Yep, under new business.
All right, so
He
we have,
retired him on,
we have 2. Does anyone want to be the liaison to the Cultural Commission?
what is that?
Not you then.
Since no one is volunteering, I'll take
Good
it.
answer.
And then the Laurel Commission,
No way.
all right, I'll take that as well. Moving on to 11. Item A, Winston Fire Department bid waiver and appropriation. Bob?
All right, well,
Chief, do you want to come up, or you want Chief up? or-
well, let me go ahead and just
You're good back there for
discuss it
now.
first. We've had some discussion on it with other members here, so. But the background, the Winstead Fire Department has an emergency request to purchase a new air bottle fill station for filling the self-contained breathing apparatus bottles. Bauer is a vendor, is the brand of fill station the fire department was using and would like to purchase it again. The quality and service of this brand is much better than the other companies, we feel. The department's previous fill station, same brand, lasted 26 years, far outlasting any other models. The fire chief would like to purchase the same brand from the sole dealer, MES Shipman, because of the excellent service and warranty provided by this company. The Winstead Fire Department applied for a grant last year for this expenditure, but did not get awarded the grant, thus leaving the expenditure not included in the budget. Since then, this equipment has failed and is not repairable. The purchase price of the air bottle fill station is $87,846, plus $7,000 for an installation, which was kind of a peg figure. We're not sure that would be the max. It'd probably be lower than that. The fire department has $30,000 in capital funds to use toward this purchase. The Winstead Fire Chief is asking the remaining $65,000 to be funded from the ARPA funds that we have remaining. So the requested action is we ask that the board waive the bid process to give the town manager the authority to appropriate and purchase this emergency fill station. Fiscal implications are the funds for this purchase are not allocated in the '24 budget. So the recommendation I have, that I would move the Board of Selectmen authorize a waiver of the requirement to bid and authorize this ARPA allocation for the Winstead Fire Department.
I'll make a motion to authorize the waiver.
I'll second.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Bill. Discussion?
I had something, Chief. I know you're in the process of seeking grants for new SCBA. Can you piggyback a grant for the fill station on that?
We can't, we don't know if we'll get the grant.
We got an audience out there somewhere, TV land, so let's try to get this on the.
So no, we can't order it and then try to apply for the grant to fund it. This has been down for a few months now. We've had 3 structure fires. We have to run to Riverton, fill bottles. Actually, Barkhamsted was nice enough to do it for us one time, pick up the bottles, bring it there, fill them, and bring them back. So it's something we need to order now, and we may not hear back if we get the grant for another year.
Okay.
So-
Yeah, I was just inquiring because, I mean, I know the importance of it, and you have to match up, you know, the SCBA to the fill station.
Correct.
So that's a issue there too. But I just figured I'd throw it out there to see if there was any grant, because I know you are going for the
Right,
bottles.
correct, we're going for a new SCBA across the board, and as we stated, last time we put in for it, but it all got turned down, so it's a very competitive grant, so, you know, we can put in for it again and maybe not get it.
I'd like you to put in for it, just if you
Well, we're
could.
gonna put in for that, but with the compressor, we'd like to
Right, see what
purchase
you-
now.
see what we
But we're
can
still
get.
gonna get we're gonna put in for the SCBA for sure.
Right, gotcha.
And don't forget to knock on the door to the firemen to the west of us too. I'm sure they'll help us out.
Well, we are doing a
I'm talking
regional
about
grant.
Norfolk, so-
Yes, well, it's a regional grant, that's what we put
Good.
in last time, and we're planning on doing that the same.
What are you looking at for SCBA's, just out of curiosity?
The same Scott,
Oh, you are?
yep, possibly the 5500.
4.0.
The 5500 possibly. Right now, we currently have the 4500 PSI bottles. We're investigating to do the 5500. The new compressor will fill those bottles, so.
So Bob, I got a question for you, is, how much more money is left from the?
It's almost gone.
Almost gone?
I mean, there was, I don't know, almost I don't know how many $1 trillion that was released from the federal government, and every town, and it filtered down to every town in America. And if it were up to me, we'd have spread that out over 4 or 5 years, but we had to spend it, spend it or lose it, which is not my philosophy, but we did. So we've spent it down. And
Right, yeah,
by and large, I think we're pretty good stuff. And the fire department got a big chunk of it.
Yeah, public safety is kind of a
Yep.
important thing.
Chief, are
sure.
you aware, are there any delays in getting this?
It's still gonna take a few months to get. So, you know, the sooner we get it confirmed.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Unanimous?
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Executive session's been removed. Item 13.
Sorry, you need a motion to allocate that from ARPA.
Yeah, that was, this got to come, yeah, that's in my request. I assumed that was, I said in request, I moved the board,
Your motion, Bill.
I moved the
I'll
board,
amend the motion to include the authorization of the ARPA allocation.
yes,
Read the recommended motion.
that's what I had
I
in the
move
motion.
that the Board of Selectmen authorize a waiver of the requirement to bid and authorize the ARPA allocation for the Winstead Fire Department.
Okay, good.
She's good.
Still have a second?
Yep, I still second it.
All in favor? Unanimous? Moving on to the next item, citizens' comments. The Board of Selectmen welcomes public comments. Speakers be limited to 3 minutes. Please give your name for the record. Who would like to speak? Seeing no speakers. Before we move on to item 14, Bob, do you want to talk about the dates for the,
Oh, item 14, the search firm has requested that they gave us 4 dates that they would have the selectmen available for live discussions and interviews sometime in January. It'll probably be 2 to 3 hours, January. We need to pick a date, January 24th, 25th, the 30th, or the 31st. So you don't have to answer now, just for consideration. You need to be thinking about when you could be available for 2 to 3 hours to meet.
For just one day or all 4 days?
Just one day. So I'll get back with you for any more detail on that. And but at that point in time, you should have some resumes to look at. But in the meantime, there's nothing available yet.
We have to look at the Weather Channel before we pick a decision.
Yeah, you probably should. But I'll follow up with you on that.
moving on to item 14, selectmen's comments and reports. Anyone?
I guess I'm going again. The water and sewer wants to do some work, so this is gonna be coming down the road here for some water main improvements. They wanna do East Wakefield Boulevard before it gets done, or West Wakefield, excuse me. They also want to do the intersection of Bridge and Willow, Perkins, Fruit Street, West Wakefield Boulevard, and Vaughn's Lane. They're gonna go after some drinking water state revolving funds, and they're looking to subsidize that with them. And this one here, I've shared with a couple of people, there's the EPA and the DPH, that's the Environmental Protection Agency, and the Department of Public Health, is a requirement for lead service line regulations. So any lead service lines that still are in town, they have to do away with, and they have to do away with any of the, they have some inventory, service line inventory, and they're looking to get like a 75% subsidized, so the state's gonna step in and help on that. So this is gonna be coming down eventually toward us. You're gonna see it in a resolution that's gonna come toward us. They're gonna have to bond and borrow some of this money. So the lead service lines, they don't have a choice. The other is, obviously, you wanna fix the
Can't
water
believe
lines.
there's still lead out there.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of it.
Yep. So that's gonna be coming at us pretty soon.
I got a couple things, for Bob. That we had the discussion on the RFP for the town attorney. Are we getting anywhere with that, or what's the status of that?
We can do that. You have to initiate an RFP to do that, and we'll prepare the paperwork if you still want to continue to pursue that. You all have to decide that you want to do that.
Okay.
So we can add that to the next agenda.
Yeah, and
What else?
then, second thing I had is, we had a guy come in last meeting inquiring, you weren't here, inquiring about 508 Main. Is that?
Yeah, that was probably Scott. I tried to call him today. He's on vacation. That's really not the way it's done. I mean, an RFP has to be issued. Other people have to want to do that. We did that twice in that property, and I recommend we don't do that again. So, but, I mean, I just can't decide to sell something, nor can you. It has to go through a process. A bid waiver, not a bid waiver, but a process, an RFP process, to allow anybody that wants to. We did it twice. We were not happy with the results. I see no indication that we'd be happy with another result. So it's been done twice.
I happen to disagree with you, and I think we should look into that.
Well, you guys can decide. I'm recommending we not do another RFP, but you can decide to do that, and we can continue with that. We put that on the agenda too, whether you want to do an RFP on
do.
that property again. But you
Yeah.
all, okay,
Please.
all right?
Other reports? Seeing none. Steve?
Move we adjourn.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Unanimous? Thank you. It's going to be exceptionally cold. Stay safe tonight.